Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 53. It's the Game Week 10 review. 5 transfers going into the transfer market this week. Would have been 6, but you know, someone screwed up. One of them paying £5 million to purchase a wildcard tactical gambit, which allowed them to make multiple transfers in a single week. And in Game Week 10's edition of Banter in the Box, we have your Game Week 10 winners and losers, 4 Game Week 10 winners, 4 Game Week 10 losers. We've got a quote of the week. It's been a while since we've had one of those. Another addition to the Wall of Shame, and a manager of the season update. Loads of people getting involved with last week's "Who the fuck is that?" question as it rolled over the 5 points. Did anyone get it right? We're going to find out later. But here are your Game Week 10 winners. Take a bow. Arden Diamonds manager Steve Holmes, the #1 rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League by his standards. He's had a fairly poor season today, but he was the biggest climber in Game Week 10, up a massive 5 places to 8th. He's still in that title race. Take a bow also, Gobi Desert Canoe Club manager Pops Hoxby. He climbed another place up to 6th in the table, and you have to go back to the 1st of June 2016 for the last time that Pops was as high as 6th in the table. It's been more than 5 years, but Pops is in the title race. A former FFFL League champion, and he could be getting his 2nd title this season. Take a bow also, Benny United manager Mark Benwell. He climbed another place to 5th in the table. Won the Family Fantasy Football League in the first 2 seasons of the competition, well over 20 years ago. Quarter of a century since Benny last won a title. Well, he's 5th. And you have to go back to the 26th of September 2020. Over a year since Benny United has been as high as 5th in the table. And the final Game Week 10 winner, take a bow, the Creed Bratton Society's Mad Hatter. He was a Game Week 9 loser. He's a Game Week 10 winner. It quickly turns around. The Mad Hatter climbing 1 place, back up to 3rd with his 2nd weekly win of the season. The Mad Hatter still in this title race. There your Game Week 10 winners. Now your Game Week 10 losers. Hide your head in shame. The Appleys United manager Marie Appley, pictured there on the right, and Jimmy S's under-11s manager James Appley, pictured there on the left. Marie fell 1 place to 30th. James fell 2 places to 28th. And they were both the joint lowest scorers in Game Week 10. They both only managed 15 points. That makes them Game Week 10 losers. Hide your head in shame as well. Finger in Ho Rangers manager Ryan Leslie Perrin, pictured there with his favourite drink and a strawberry daiquiri. Ryan dropped 5 places down to 21st. He was the Game Week 10 biggest faller with that 5 place drop. And the final Game Week 10 loser, hide your head in shame, the defending FFFL champion Alexi Lagos, manager of Greece Lightning. Alexi fell 2 places to 4th. You have to go back to the 2nd of July 2020, well over a year, for the last time that Alexi was as low as 4th in the Family Fantasy Football League table. And that's a young Alexi pictured there doing his best Michael Jackson impression. So they are your Game Week 10 losers. And we've cut the canned laughter because the Fun Police said she didn't like it. So we got rid of it. I aim to please, guys. I aim to please. Now, quote of the week from Tyler Bound. Team name escapes me. He's either Juan Veron FC or Sweet Foden Line FC. I can never remember which way round him and where's the K are. But anyway, Tyler Bound, debut manager, pictured there, still being followed around by those two stalkers who photobomb all of his selfies. Well, he sent me this email. How do I make subs? I'm not quite understanding on what I can do and can't do. Thank you. Well, it's not really a quote. It's obviously more a question. And assuming when he says, how do I make subs, he's not talking about sandwiches, he's talking about transfers. That's certainly the route I went down. I'm gonna give Tyler a manager of the season point for sending that in. There isn't any other great banter going on out there this week. And I have said to everyone, when I sent you all the rules at the start of the season, if you've got any questions, let me know. And Tyler's just doing what I said. He's letting me know with a good question. Why he's waited to game week 10 to realise he doesn't know how to make transfers, who knows? But it was a perfectly valid question. So I sent Tyler a copy of the rules. I resent Tyler the rules that I sent at the start of the season. And I also sent him, I directed him to section 6 of the rules, where everything about what you need to know about making transfers is explained. And I also sent him a big explanation about the do's and don'ts of making transfers, and included this snippet. I said you can only make one transfer per week unless you purchase a wildcard tactical gambit, which costs £5 million. So again, if you did this, the value of your team could not exceed more than 75 million. Now that was to Tyler because he's been in the top half of the table all season, so he hasn't actually earned any transfer bonuses. So he's still got the budget that we all start the season with of 80 million. So if he spends £5 million on a wildcard tactical gambit, if that's what he wanted to do, because it cost £5 million, the value of his team after he'd made his transfers couldn't exceed more than 75 million. That was a snippet of a long explanation that I sent Tyler, along with the rules, directing him to section 6. Yeah, Tyler, you should be okay now, but if you've got any further questions, just let me know. And you've earned a manager of the season point for that quote of the week, or question of the week, if you want to call it that. Now, Wall of Shame update. We had an update to the Wall of Shame last week, and we've got another one. We already know Never the Boys manager Jack Hoxby was on there. Where's the K is on there not once but twice. As is Coldplay United manager Martin Maloney. He's on there not once but twice. And Dustbin Dynamos. No, he's changed his team name. Racing 1895's John Tustin is on the Wall of Shame. And then Napoli manager Lee Poulter appeared on there. And last week, Benny United manager Mark Benwell appeared on the Wall of Shame. And we have a new entry this week. Take a bow. Tyler Bound, who tried to make multiple transfers in a single week this week, but the value of his team added up to 76 million after he'd spent the £5 million on the tactical gambit. And the value of his team, because he needed to purchase the wildcard tactical gambit to make multiple transfers in a single week, couldn't exceed more than 75 million. If only someone had told him that before he tried to make those transfers. So, Tyler Bound becomes the latest man to appear on the Wall of Shame. I say this every time I do a Wall of Shame coverage, but he won't be the last, I'm sure. Now, who the fuck is that? Rolled over last week, which meant it was worth a 5 point this week, but to get those 5 points you had to get all the managers right. 4 managers pictured there, 4 managers pictured there, so possible, well, in the original week 4 possible points were at stake, but no one got, but to get the points you had to get all 4 managers right. No one did that in the first week. I think a couple got none right. One manager got 1 out of 4 right, and One manager got 3 out of 4 right from memory, but go back and watch episode 52 and you can see it. So because no one got all 4 of them right, we rolled it over again and we increased the points value on offer to 5 points. But to get those 5 points, you had to get all 4 managers correctly. And we had 6 guesses this week. I hope I haven't missed anyone. No Happy Endings manager Di Maloney thought that it was a picture of herself. Legends 23 manager Nikki Saunders. Nicola's Anelka manager Nicola Irvin. And Poppy's Players manager Sarah Simons. I can tell you, Di, that was incorrect. But 2 out of those 4 managers were correct. I'm not going to tell you which 2. Pens and papers at hand, process of elimination and all that. But 2 of those 4 guesses were incorrect. And then we had guesses from, and I'm going to list all the people that had guesses because they all submitted the same guess. Lyndon's Lovely's manager Joe Hoxby. I've Got a Life manager Mops Hoxby. Hatch United manager Neil Hatch, the Big Knobs manager Simon Hoxby, and Benny United manager Mark Benwell all submitted the same guess. They all thought that that was a picture of Chairman's Choice manager yours truly, Legends 23 manager Nikki Saunders, Nicola's Anelka's manager Nicola Irvin, and No Happy Endings manager Di Maloney. Well, I can tell the 5 of you that 3 of those 4 guesses are correct. So nobody gets any points for the Who the Fuck Is That this week, which means the manager of the season table looks like this. Tyler Bound joins the party in joint 7th thanks to his quote of the week, but it's still Hatch United manager Neil Hatch out in front on 13 points. The Who the Fuck Is That rolls over for another week and it's now worth 6 manager of the season points. If you can tell me the 4 Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there. That is it for this week, folks. Have a great 2 weeks now because we've got an... No, I'm lying. No, I was going to say we've got an international break, but there is football this weekend. So we are back next week. Not sure when actually because we're away. But we'll do a Banter in the Box at some point. Probably Thursday, I suspect. Thursday night. So yeah, don't leave it too long to get your guesses in. But remember, you only get 1 guess. I'm talking to you, Mark Benwell. You only get 1 guess before the next Banter in the Box video. So until then, have a good week. Bye bye.